they depend on you as their president to represent their voices and their aspirations. What do you expect from this summit?
No, it's for the government to see that we have common issues as African children. So us being as one here, we are going to discuss those issues because those are the issues that is affecting each and every child in Africa. So we are going to make sure that we collaboratively work with other neighboring countries to see how we can make resolution. Because if we have one voice as Africa, we are able to put relevant people accountable because these issues affect each and every child in this continent.
All right. One of the other issues, I mean, as the president of this gathering, which is the Children's Parliament, normally or probably you would receive quite a lot of issues that come to your desk from different challenges affecting children across the villages in South Africa. Can you give us a sense of some of the things that land on your desk as the president where children are crying for you to intervene or to deal with those issues?
You must know that everything must start from the root. The problem is that here we are at national sittings or international sittings, but there are children out there at locals who their rights are not taken very seriously. So if we make sure that we involve children and include children, especially starting from local to district to province, so that they are able to voice up and speak regarding the issues they go through, that one will be a very important. This is the problem we are facing currently. Because what's the point of going to national and speaking at national where at local the same issues are continuing to happen? So it's very important that the government should make sure that all measures, all spheres of government are actually participating in making sure that children's rights are heard in all spheres of government. Secondly, is the issue of involvement of children with disabilities in discussions like this, because I think they are left behind and they need to be represented very well. With the issue of government not taking action, because at the end of the day, we are not providing resources, we are advocating. So we are the one giving resources. So they are not actually putting the things that we are crying about into action or into motion. And it's a very biggest crisis because we are not moving as a country, because we are always crying about the same thing in parliament. There are no changes that are being put in place.
That's going to be my point, because the issue of representation, because I like what you said, that here we are dealing with national, but we need to go to villages, to townships, and to make sure that we gather children around issues that affect their communities. How do you make sure that your parliament is able to have that kind of a reverberation to those levels where children who are in villages are able to see and hear the voices of the national that you were referring to?
What I would like to indicate before I get to answer the question, we have procedures that we take until someone is sitting at national parliament. The district have to bring children to the provincial consultation workshop. That's where we elect leaders who are going to represent the respective province at the national. So the problem is that after doing so, we find out those structures now die, meaning children are no longer involved. It's only for that sitting, only to elect and have some representation. We need to maintain and make sure that the structure still lives. We want to make sure that each and every district
or
or
municipality... How do you do that? Because I need you to come practically and say, as a parliament, this is what we do to make sure that those structures do not become moribund and dead, but they become alive. They continue discussions beyond these summits. How do you, at your parliament, make sure that those local structures are functioning?
Yeah, to be specific, let me go straight to the point. This is what needs to be done. Districts, they are responsible in terms of making sure that children's voices are heard at local level. What we are going to do, we are going to make sure that the district elect the junior mayors in their respective districts, so that those children can be able to speak regarding the issues that is happening within their district, so that those measures can be taken from local to province and also to the national level.
So the theme of the summit, as you can see, boldly written there, seen, heard and engaged. Are South African children seen?
It is unfortunate we are not seen, and I want to be honest with that. It's because we have certain departments that are not represented here. We are speaking, one of the themes, if I can recall, is education. but all in the program, we don't see Department of Education. You know, children's rights are very diverse, that to a point that it involves different departments. Department of Health is involved because there are issues about diseases and whatsoever that are going to be included regarding this summit. So now it's very, very important that all districts or departments are here to hear the voices of children. It's not the responsibility of Department of Social Development alone. All of us need to work as together to make sure that we make children's rights a main priority.
I think my last point would be, you know, the kind of linkages that you also do with other children across the continent, because obviously this is a gathering of children from most of the African countries. Are you able to link up and hear what are the experiences of children in other countries?
You know, it's sad because I happen to engage with some of the children. I want to tell you a sad news. There are delegates from Lesotho who used their own money to come for this summit. The government did not provide anything for them to be here. It's sad because how are we able to come as Africa continent children to discuss issues and hear from each other if the government itself does not recognize the importance of children in that respective country? So it has to start with the country making sure that it recognizes, and then we can collaboratively work as the countries in terms of making sure we promote. That's the gap we are having. Some countries do not recognize child participation. They're just doing it because of doing it. They don't know the importance and the procedures of doing it. So these are the main gap that we are currently facing, because at the end of the day, we as one, we can make a difference as Africa.
And how do you, you know, when you share experiences with other children from other countries, you mentioned the example of Lesotho, where there's no support for children there. And you mentioning a very sorry story of children from Lesotho who had to push themselves to come here.
Yeah.
How do you share your experiences with your peers in other countries? Because you've already mentioned that obviously children are not heard and they are not seen. And I can hear from your voice you are a very feisty young man who's able to make sure that you heard and seen. How do you share those experiences?
It's very important that you know that we have certain initiatives that are running. I'm sure you are aware of what we call the SADC.
Yeah.
So the SADC now has managed to make sure that it make a SADC that is specifically for children. So far, since that has took place, which was done online, and it was hosted by South Africa, it is very, very important to understand that such platforms, they happen, right? At the end of the day, they are no longer existing anymore. So it is very important that we don't want to see the same mistake happening in the summit, because we are going to speak, we are going to do and share experiences, but we then need to ask ourselves, what next? Because we can't just talk and then we go back to our respective problems and face the same issues that we've been facing.
That's my issue exactly. How do you, because the previous guest that was here, she mentioned that the importance of having these watchdog kind of structures beyond the resolutions that are going to be taken here at the summit floor. In your case, in your children's parliament, do you have such to make sure that you monitor these resolutions?
I think it all starts with this common suggestion I have in my mind to say that let us have a certain leadership that is being elected, especially in the African continent. Maybe the chairperson, right, who represent the children in the African continent. This will then fast track, because the person will be responsible in making sure that each and every country that is suffering from a certain issue is able to stand up and advocate for that. This will help, because at the end of the day, we'll make a suggestion. I'll talk to Lesotho, but because I don't have the willing power to make an action, that's where the problem is. Let us elect leaders, right, in the African continent, same way as SADC, the Pan-African what that we have, that is currently happening in the continent. Let's do the same thing so that the other countries are able to share the experiences to those people that are elected, and then they can make sure to make an action regarding the problem that has been put in place.
Dikgang Mogodu, thank you very much for your time. Well, that was Dikgang Mogodu, the president of the Nelson Mandela's Children's Parliament. Let's take a break, and we'll be back shortly. Right, welcome back after that short commercial break. We continue with our discussions here at Parktown in the very cold and drizzling Johannesburg. But children, regardless of that, they are gathering in numbers to discuss issues that are affecting them. And we continue with our discussions. Nelson Mandela once said, "There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children." That legacy lives on today through the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. And coming up in conversation, we've got Dr. Linda Ncube Nkomo. She's the CEO of the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, on how the summit continues Madiba's mission to protect and uplift every child. Sis Linda, good morning, and thank you very much for your time.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are basically in the shadow of Nelson Mandela, and she's basically looming large in this summit. What do you think she would have said? Probably she would have been here addressing these children. What do you think she would have said to these children?
I think he has said to them, you guys are visionaries as children, because if it wasn't for your vision to have a child-led summit that has got all the children of Africa gathered in the same room, talking about the issues that affect them as children, we wouldn't be here in Parktown. So I think he would be applauding them and giving them the impetus to continue to advocate for platforms where they run the agenda, because they are the ones who are being affected by decisions and where the world is going. But they also have got some amazing ideas because of their lived experiences. So I have no doubt in my mind that he would have said a big well done to them, because without them, we would not have created this platform.
Would he have been happy about the progress that we've made to make sure that children are seen, heard, and engaged?
No, he wouldn't, because it is the children who are saying, we want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be engaged. It's not us who have said, let's make sure children are seen, heard, and engaged. That was their own initiative. They came up with this theme because they are not being seen, heard, or engaged. We still are wanting to raise children the way our parents raised us, where children were to be seen and not heard. And they are saying, no. The world has changed. You were raised for a world that does not exist. This world that we're in, we need to be seen, we need to be heard, we need to be engaged. So he would definitely be saying, now that the children are calling for this, you guys need to make it a reality.
Previously I had a discussion with a representative from Kenya where this summit started in 2023. And we were talking about the progress that has been made since 2023 to now. My issue is, have we made any progress regarding that?
No, I like to see things in huge numbers.
Sure.
So if it's a tiny step, for me, there is no progress. And I think the people who are better placed to answer that question would be the children themselves, because it's their lived realities that are going to say things are changing for the better. Oh man, we've taken steps back. But as somebody who's working in the children's sector, I don't think we've made progress continentally. I mean, when I look at how children struggled to get their governments to fund them to come to this summit, it shows that while we're paying lip service to the various instruments that exist for children as governments, but when it comes to the tar hitting the road, to making the finances available so that these platforms can be created, then we're not seeing the reality of government being really invested.
Sis Linda, because of time, I know we're going to continue this conversation as the summit continues. There's a lot to talk about, and especially from your side, from the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time.
That was Dr. Linda Ncube Nkomo, the CEO of the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Now, following on from the Prep Orchestra, it now gives me great pleasure to bring onto the stage the Masiba Mbane College Choir.
Understanding that the point of
Or left wing.
Literally too pretty. I think it's actually like a crime.
Yeah!
You made the
I understand, but they're massive biscuits. You've got crusticle in your eye. No, it's not that deep. Relax. What should I call it? That's weird. That's rude. Biscuits.
important for us to pause and reflect on the strides and the progress that the South African government has achieved over the past 30 years in the promotion and the protection of children's rights.
The basic principle from which we will proceed from now onwards is that we must rescue the children of the nation.
I just want to applaud the government of South Africa. There's a huge improvement, as you can see. Firstly, I will start by indicating there was an establishment of the Nelson Mandela Children's Parliament, which is an initiative where children across all the provinces are being called to sit in the parliament in order to discuss the issues that they go through. And one of the biggest improvement we have seen is when children are being involved in decision making.
Over the past 30 years, the government has given our culture sanitary towels, and it's something we can speak open about these days. They've also given us the option of making our own decisions, such as taking contraceptives without our parents' supervision.
South Africa, in general, in relation to the rights of the child, there are many great progress that has been done. Access to healthcare, access to basic education, and then many children can still enjoy the basic services that are necessary to their growth and then the development. However, as you have just mentioned, for the protection of the children, we can still do more. I think there has been a committee of the rights of the child noted that there are more can be done for the unaccompanied children who are in the residential care, the disability issues, and then also to tackle and prevent the violence against children, which are quite prevalent in the Republic. So I think that it is important. Today is the launch of the Child Protection Week, and then this is the time we can join hands together to protect and then prioritize every child in South Africa. Especially now South Africa is celebrating 30th anniversary of its democracy, and then we would like to call all the partners to protect and prioritize the issue of the children at the center and heart of its nation, who gonna be...
With many focusing on the issues the area faces while disregarding the many unique and talented individuals it produces. Thus, organizations like Dlala Nje, running development programs and supporting young people from Johannesburg's iconic Ponte Tower, are of vital importance in changing people's perceptions about the area and about its people. We now welcome Dlala Nje to the stage.
the bottle, it's Nicki full throttle, it's all. Swimming in the grotto, we winning in the lotto, we dipping in the pot of blue flow. Hitting so good, it's dripping, I don't would get a ride in that engine that could go. Batman robbing it, bang bang cocking it, Queen Nicki dominant, prominent. It's me, Jesse and Ari. If they test me, they sorry. Riders up like a Harley, then pull off in this Ferrari. If he hanging, we banging. Phone ringing, he slanging. It ain't karaoke night, but get the mic 'cause I'm singing. B to the A, to the N, to the G, to the B to the A, to the N, to the G. Hey. See anybody coming good to you? You need a back up on your mind, your mind. Okay.
I get the sense that if we weren't all trapped by the lovely suits and dresses and the jerseys that I see in the crowd this morning, we might have joined Jala and Jed to dance along, smile along with them, and to enjoy the happiness that they were spreading. May we please have another round of applause for these young ones. Now, not to worry though, if you do feel like dancing, just jumping up at your seat and having some fun, we will have another dance item being performed next up. This dance item will be performed by the brothers Jaden and Sean Lee. Jaden and Sean Lee are both St. John's College students currently in the high school. Sean Lee is actually one of our heads of houses in the high school, and Jaden Lee is one of the best musicians that the college has to offer, often performing in competitions around the globe. That speaks to the talents and the abilities of St. John's College students to manage their time effectively and to give their all in many different areas of life. Now let's welcome to the stage Jaden and Sean to dazzle us with their dance music.
I'll tell you later.
And I could take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way I like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating.
Toughest crowd.
It's hard for me to believe that Sean could be dancing like this now, and on Monday he could be giving me detention. Let's have another round of applause for the brothers. Just another quick disclaimer, for anybody who may need translation devices, those are available at the back. So if you are in need of that now, then please do navigate to the back where you can collect one of those in order to hear the many jokes that I have to tell you today. St. John's is a very diverse landscape when it comes to music. We have many different students who play many different instruments such as the piano, the trumpet, the bass trombone, I can't even begin to name the amount of different musicians we have at the school. But I think if everyone in this room had to pick an instrument that they know, they would pick the piano. That helps me to introduce our next performer, Lebeko Mosunkutu. Lebeko joined us at the beginning of last year, and since then has regularly dazzled us with his piano performances. His ability to move his fingers that fast on the keys astounds me to this day. Now please join your hands to welcome Lebeko to the stage.
Now, I must walk in from there. Me and Derek. Okay. It's like
I know, I saw it earlier and I was like,
oh, it's okay.